Hello. Hello. Hello, hello. Hello, 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 hello. This is Beth Green, otherwise known as Granny Rocks.
And I am James Maynard, otherwise known as Sweet Baby James. Welcome to Lighting the Way, Granny Raps and Rocks. And I'm handling the chat tonight, so please chat with us, and Beth will chat back with you.
And if you are here live when we are live, then I can answer you live, right? And if you're not, then I can answer you dead. No.
No, with a comment.
Oh, but I
In
can
writing,
I can
afterward.
write to you. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Now this is no good. There we go. That's much better. All righty. Well, welcome everybody. So tonight I want to talk about what brings magic into your life and how to get it. Now, do you think I actually know? I'm not sure that I know how you're going to get it, but we're going to try to figure this thing out together.
You have a feeling about it.
Well, I want to talk about what brought this up for me.
Yeah.
You know, why did I even pick this weird topic?
Pray tell.
Well, first,
Oh, and we have a hello here from Catalina. Good evening. Musical notes, keyboard, and a heart of love. Thank you, Catalina.
well, I had a very interesting experience yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So, a lot of exciting things happened. I wrote a contribution to a book on sound, experiences with healing and transformation and all kinds of stuff about sound. So, anyway, mine is one of the contributions to the book. And the book came out, and then I've started being featured. The authors of the book were on a coast-to-coast radio program, and they've wrote something about me in the blurb, and with the link to my website, and other stuff like that. Okay. Hello.
Oh, yes. And Tracy says hello and sends caring. Thank you, Tracy. Glad to have you with us. And Elizabeth says, I want more magic.
Yeah, exactly. So
There we
and
And
wonderful.
she also says hi there.
Yes.
And Todd says, love the topic.
Oh, goody.
Sends caring musical notes.
Goody, because I'm counting on you to have something to say.
And Island says hello from Tucson.
Ooh, hello,
Tucson,
Island.
Arizona.
Yeah, Tucson, Arizona. Anyway, so I was telling you this, and there was a bunch of other stuff that happened yesterday. It was just an amazing day. And I was thinking, how do I feel? You know, I was like, oh my God, all this really exciting things had happened, and I didn't feel good.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, I need some magic in my life. And I thought, but this is all magic. I mean, all of those things were magic. They
You need
came.
to be able to recognize it's
Well,
magic.
I knew it was magic. It was like I was being featured, and that's kind of, you know, good fortune or magic. Just a whole bunch of stuff happened that normally doesn't happen to me because I tend to not be a very lucky person.
Oh, and we have a big hello from Blanquita. Hello,
Hola.
Beth and James. She sends 3 hearts of
Oh,
love.
muchas gracias, Blanquita. So I'm thinking, what's wrong? And I was walking around, and I actually even had a little bit more energy. I was slowly recovering from COVID. You would think I would have been like high as a kite, right? But no. And I said, I'm still missing the magic. I wanted to be in another world. Like in a fairy tale. I didn't have to be a princess or anything. I just wanted to be in the fairy tale. And I wanted everything to be wonderful and harmonious, and I wanted the world to be wonderful. And I thought, well, Am I waiting for the world to be wonderful before I feel there's any magic in my life? That is not a good idea.
It could be a long, long wait.
Could be. But my particular neck of the woods was doing pretty well. So I went to sleep with that feeling and that question, like, where's the magic, right? Well, there is a little part of the story that you don't know yet, right?
Oh, pray tell.
James and I were not in a good place with each other. But I thought I had it handled. You know, it was like I was okay, I was cool, I was getting things done. I was actually feeling way better.
You're extremely productive.
I was extremely productive, and I said, this has been an amazing day. And then this morning, we started to come together again after several days of hostile fire. And I was sitting there with him. We were outside, and he was doing this thing with me, with it twinkling my fingers
It's
to
called
try.
the Brazilian toe technique, or
Yes.
finger technique.
Right, where they're trying to get some energy into the person's body, which is, you know, I don't have very much. I'm kind of chronically
And chi,
ill.
channeling chi into the
Channeling chi.
energy field also.
And there was nothing spectacular going on. And last night we were fighting again. But in that moment, I sat in our little garden and I looked out and I felt the magic. Now, I don't like that to be the case. Same yard, same lawn, except that now the water is flowing. We're having some problems with the watering system. You know, I mean, things have been kind of difficult. But anyway, everything was the same, but all of a sudden, I was feeling magic. Same old body, same pain, same fatigue, right?
So what happened?
Oh, like you don't know. What gave me the magic, that feeling of magic, was that we were feeling connected and there was love. I don't want that to be the case. I don't want that to be the case. Why? Because when he's in a bad mood and there isn't any love, then you're going to tell me that I can't have any magic in my life. I didn't like that. I was trying my damnedest to have as much magic as I could, all by myself. Now, I am not saying that this is what gives your life a feeling of magic. Maybe what gives your life a feeling of magic is that you start something that you've wanted to do for years and you didn't do it. You just procrastinated and suddenly you're doing it. Maybe that'll give you a feeling of magic. Or you actually read something in the news that's good, that's positive, where it shows people caring. That could be what gives you. I don't know. I
Well,
want you.
What happened with me is I started feeling a deep appreciation of the nature surroundings, the wonderful flow of water with these waterfalls and a fountain. And of course, you and I were feeling in harmony. All of that just conspired to create a wonderful feeling.
So you were feeling the magic at the same time,
Same time.
which is interesting because it may not have just been the fact that we were getting along. It may have been that we were both feeling it. There was a collective sense of well-being.
Yes.
And as I said, same lousy world. I shouldn't say lousy world. You know, the world has lousy, it has encouraging. And so I'm telling you that I don't like this because here I was the day before having extraordinary experiences. You know, I tend to think, and maybe you do too, that, oh, if only this would happen. You know, somebody would start reading my books or listening to my music or something or other, then I would feel happy.
Well, you
right?
had some very good conversations with people who indicated a real interest and enthusiasm for coming to our home concert and hearing the music that you have created.
That's true, but it didn't help me. My point is, I felt all of that yesterday, but it didn't make me feel any
The
magic.
magic.
So for me, the magic came from the connection.
Yeah.
No, I don't like it. So I want to know, please put it in a comment. We want to know what gives you a feeling of magic, and think about that. Think about it and give us a real answer. Like, think of it. Okay, I'm going to sit here with you, and I want you to think about a moment where you felt there was magic in the world.
Or in your world. And Muhammad is here. He says, there is some charm and comfort I feel from your musical instrument you are playing, madam.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes.
Muhammad.
We like that.
Yes.
Charm and comfort from my instrument. So this gives him a feeling of magic, maybe.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
And that is another example, a terrific example, Muhammad, of music can give us a feeling of magic. You go to the Nutcracker Suite and you see the, that's really not my favorite thing, but you listen to some really great music. To you, it's really great music. And suddenly there's magic in the world. It's like, okay, so I'm waiting. Please put something in the comment. Let's all meditate.
Well, I would like to also share that
What?
this feeling of deepened appreciation of things in my life, like my little doggie, Lily. I've been feeling more of a magical feeling with her, too. But like just appreciating the nuances, the subtleties of her, as well as my surroundings and our garden in the back. And so this deepened sense of appreciation gives me a feeling, an exquisite feeling of the magic of it.
That's a very important point, and I think we've already lost.
Oh, Tracy.
No, go back.
Oh, wait.
James,
Here we go.
go back. Yeah. There.
Yeah. Catalina says, I feel this magic when I create paintings and sketches.
That is wonderful. Now,
and we've seen these posted on Facebook, and they are special.
Catalina
There
is a
magic feeling.
wonderful artist, and she feels the magic. And sometimes, I have to say, sometimes I feel magic when I'm playing the piano or I'm playing music. You know, it's like, oh my God,
Yes,
that gives me.
yes.
And let's see.
And then
Wait.
Tracy
Wait,
says,
there is another one higher.
oh, wait a minute. Oh, yeah. Elizabeth says, I feel magic when I feel connected to my wife, especially when she's feeling better.
Exactly. Now,
the
was
very
that
very thing.
the last one before
No,
the last one?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Excellent.
And then, now
There it
this
is. So
the-
you're also feeling the magic
and
when
now
you
this
feel
is the
the
next
connection.
to the last one from the next to the last one before that and the one before that.
Okay.
So this one is Tracy being in synergy with a colleague and inspired by the ideas we are brainstorming together. Creativity, brainstorming.
And
Oh,
synergy. That means, for those of you who don't speak that much English, synergy comes from the connection. See, we're beginning to see a theme here of that it's coming from the feeling of connection, whether it's connection with your dog, or it's connection with your wife, or it's connection with a colleague. And then there's suddenly this creativity which comes out of that connection, and there's magic. I love that. Okay.
And then Elizabeth says, I also feel magic when I connect with my
Oh,
clients.
Now,
There it is again, the connection.
Elizabeth is a physical therapist. And I happen to know that. I didn't just intuit that. I actually knew that. So, so that's really nice. So even because Elizabeth said earlier, I want to feel more magic, but she's already telling us some of the things that help her to feel magic. Like first the
Sure.
connection with her wife, and then there's the connection with her clients. Gives her a feeling of magic. I know that feeling too. When I felt like hell the whole time that James and I were fighting, when I was with my clients, because I'm a
felt it.
counselor, I had way more magic, way more.
We have another comment here.
Yes.
Two more. Richard says, feeling connected in the oneness of the Spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can relate to that.
Yeah.
I experience that sometimes in meditation or in nature.
That's right. In the oneness of spirit, more about connection. We're getting a theme here. We
Yes.
are. Yes.
And then Muhammad says, you are getting comforting music from the instrument you are playing. You are softly touching, beating the keys, madam. Well, this reminds me of that show, Magical Improvs,
Which we do every
which we do every
Thursday night.
Oh, she composes music on the spot. There's an intuitive, inspiring process going on. And
Yeah,
I do the same when I join in with her.
because it's all about improvisation. That is lovely, lovely, lovely. So now, is anybody, thank you so much for the wonderful responses we're getting that's helping the show move along. I think we're all beginning to get the idea that if we want to have more magic in our lives, we probably need to be more connected
Yep.
to something, to the animals, to nature, to spirit, to a person, to our passion, to the things that we care about.
Yes.
And and so now the question is, since we've already seemed to have a consensus, and that does not require fairy dust. And by the way, I want to say something about this magic thing. So often life feels dreary, dark, miserable, right?
Difficult.
Difficult. And then I read the news and I go from bad to worse. And of course, all I see is the negative. Once I'm in that negative mood, nothing can comfort me. I'm just like dark. So life is very difficult. So I was thinking about, do I want to exist in this world? Because when I was thinking about the magic yesterday, that I was missing the magic. And for me, it's when James and I are really in a bad place with each other, it's really hard for me to feel the magic, even when everything else is working right. But in the moment that I'm with my clients, I feel my love for them, I'm working with them, and something magical really does happen because I'm an intuitive and suddenly I see things and they just come out of nowhere. But I guess what I'm saying is, life is very, very difficult and hard to live with. Reality is very, very challenging. I find, and so many people want to leave reality and go find something happy, something to live for. And so they take drugs, look to food, alcohol, meditation, go on a trip, spend money, right?
Yeah.
Looking for that magic because reality is very challenging.
Yes.
So I almost did the today's topic on who wants to live with reality, right? But what I realized was this morning when we had our moment, I was happy with reality. I was willing to live in reality. I didn't need to eat anything. I didn't need to spend money on anything. I didn't need to travel, which is good because we don't have money to spend. I can hardly eat anything, and I really can't travel. So, what am I going to do? Just kind of sit there and suffer. But
Or sit there and be happy with what you got.
well, that's the nice thing. But you have to have something that you really feel connected to.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like you guys now to think about your own thing that you put out and ask yourself, how often do you feel that something is missing, like you don't feel that magic, and why? And I'll sit here and play the piano while you think about that. You understand? Like, why is it missing from your life? Because we're talking about how to get that magic. We know what it is.
Well, I can tell you mine right away. When I go negative, when I start having negative judgments about my situation, about other people, about the world,
You mean like when you have a
it goes
raw
away.
deal?
It goes away. And then it's hard to get it in because that space is taken up with
It's-
negative energy.
Right, it's a busy signal. There's no
Yeah,
room.
it's a busy signal. That's
No,
right.
no room for the magic because there's a busy signal. So you know what triggers you into wanting to leave reality is that you have gotten into a negative space, and instead of being in appreciation of the connection that you feel,
I'm in a space of negation.
negation and separation,
Yeah, and separation.
right?
Yeah, that's right. Oh, Muhammad says, the music you are producing is not the magic the wizards recite.
I'm not sure that I understand that, but it is magic in its own way.
Yes.
And here is speaking
it's a
of
different
wizards.
kind of magic. And Sophie says, love and blessings, beautiful friends.
Hello,
Welcome aboard,
Sophie.
Sophie. Oh, she sends namaste and hearts of love and sparkling stars.
And we know that Sophie
you, Sophie.
believes in magic.
Yeah.
And so that magic can come out of the synergy, the interaction, the connection that we feel with life, as difficult as it can be. And you may have everything else looks the same. But if something gets in the way of that feeling of connection, in James' case, he says it's that he gets into some negative judgments of himself or others
Or a situation.
or situation. And for me, it's he's in a negative place. And then I am embarrassed to say this, but when James is in a negative place, I don't have a whole lot of feeling of magic.
Right. Well, it just so happens you're an empath, so
I
you feel
am.
the energy.
Exactly. So his energy becomes my energy. So his negativity becomes my negativity, and my whole life sucks. And we have.
Sophie says hello, and again, a couple of hearts of love.
Hello, honey. We haven't seen you live in a long time, so we
Yeah,
are
glad
so
to have you with us. This
so
is
happy.
a topic very akin to you.
That's right. Anybody
Creating the
else?
magic in your life.
So anybody else like to say so? Negative judgments, negative self-talk, being around toxic people that can just drag you down. All those kind of things can really interrupt the feeling of magic, can't it?
Oh, yeah.
And here's another one.
Island, the world seems to be on fire.
Yeah, in a negative way, I assume you mean.
Yeah. Rome is burning.
Yeah, it certainly is. But it's amazing. When I'm in that negative place, I don't see any magic, and it all feels like it's going to burn.
Right.
And when I'm in a more positive place, I see, oh, look at that. They've just discovered a way to get rid of forever chemicals in the water. Oh, look, they've just made another discovery about batteries for cars. Or, oh, look, when I think about climate change, it makes me want to throw up. But when I think about, okay, well, we're learning things. I don't know what's going to happen to this world, truly. But I do know that there is a lot of creativity. And when I feel connected to the people who are doing something positive or who are feeling positive, I feel magic. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel magic when you feel magic, when you are putting out something positive.
Oh, Richard says, separation and isolation darken my magic.
They certainly do. So Richard, that you can't afford that. You want to go down and be in the toilet? You know exactly how to do it, right? And if you want to get out of it, then get over the separation and isolation, and that will help you.
Now, Muhammad says, are you thinking my comments as negative ones, madam? This
Oh,
is in
not
reference
at
to
all.
when he
Not
said,
at all.
the music you are producing is not the music the wizards recite.
No, I think you mean that it's a different kind of, I think you just meant it's a
kind of
different
magic.
kind of magic, and I agree with that. I love that. And I certainly
There we
don't
go.
feel anything negative coming from you. I just was a little confused by
I was too.
what you said, but then I think we figured it out. It's like there's different kinds of magic. It's not, some come out of it. And that, in fact, is a very important point, Muhammad, because so many of us are waiting for something miraculous to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, magic. somebody will come to my door with $1 million and say, Beth, you want to retire? Here's $1 million. See, that would be magic, right? Right? But it's not always that. That
You can find
kind
magic
of,
in the smallest things.
that's right, that kind of wizardry. Like, I'm going to turn this into a pot of gold. Or I'm going to touch my husband and he's going to become 30 years younger.
Good luck with that.
So there it is, Mohammed. I hope that you're relating to my point, that that's what we tend to think of as wizardry, that we're looking for something miraculous, out of the ordinary, extraordinary. Oh, I'm going to become a star. I'm going to become a star, a star, a star, a star.
You know, speaking of finding magic in the small things,
Yes.
when I was taking our two doggies for a walk through a meadow, which had lots of small daisies,
Yes.
I looked at those daisies and I says, oh, how quaint, how dainty, and they're kind of magical to me.
Yes, and they remind you of your wife. So anyway, that is really the point, isn't it? That we can find magic in the connection. We don't need miracles. We don't need to be Alice in Wonderland. We don't need to be taking mushrooms, magic mushrooms. We don't need to get high. We don't need, what we need is to feel connected. And that's not always easy, but when we do, we will find the real magic that makes life wonderful. And that's what I'm thinking. So I'm also thinking that I better shut up because we're at the
just about
restaurant.
out of time here.
This is Lighting the Way, Granny Raps and Rocks. We broadcast every Wednesday night at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. And it would be very magical if you liked or loved the show tonight, or if you shared the show with others. And if you are not here when we're here live, please leave comments later. And come back on Thursday,
Which is tomorrow.
which is tomorrow, at 7 p.m. Pacific time for Magical Improvs, for more magical music that comes from the heart. And
Yes.
there is nothing like life from the heart to the heart to make magic.
Yes.
So I hope that you have more of that magic in your life, Elizabeth.
Oh, and Muhammad says, Madam, I am slightly acquainted with English language. I'm trying to understand what you were speaking, and I'm commenting accordingly.
You do a great
Oh,
job.
You're doing a great job.
You
That's so
do.
true.
You do. I have a feeling that I would not understand a single word of your language. No, you do a great job, and we really appreciate you. And we also
Oh, and
have,
Island sends lots and lots of love.
yes.
Vibrant, vibrating love, and heart to heart.
So
And Sophie says, see you tomorrow.
all right, Sophie.
It's a date, Sophie. It's a date.
Yes.
Let's make magic together.
And so, Mohammed, I hope you understood that we do understand what you said, and you do a great job. And we're so happy to welcome you whenever you come, and the rest of you too. So don't forget to share this show.
Oh, yes.
Let's spread the magic.
Share the magic.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye for now. Thanks for coming.